Hi, my name is Shari MacDonald. I'm a physical therapist who has a special interest in treating running injuries. The Youth Run Club encourages kids to maintain a healthy, active lifestyle. Running is a great way to do that. But with increased running comes the increased potential for running injuries. Most people don't think about running as a contact sport, but every time your foot hits the ground, there's a ground reaction force or a shock wave that comes up through the leg that's 2 to 3 times your body weight. So for example, if you run 1 kilometer, you're going to be taking approximately 1,000 steps. With those 1,000 steps, you're going to increase your chance of injury. So today we're going to talk about running injuries and ways that you can prevent them. Most kids suffer overuse running injuries, such as patellofemoral pain, which is pain at the inside or the front of your knee, or IT band syndrome, which is on the lateral side or the outside of your knee, or Achilles pain, which is going to be around your heel. The factors that contribute to why you get these types of injuries are multifactorial. So things like lack of strength can contribute to the injury, lack of flexibility, training problems, so not following a proper training plan. Sometimes wearing the wrong types of shoes will contribute to your injuries as well. So if we go back to your training plan and we talk about the FIT principle, that's going to look at the FITT, so frequency, intensity, type, and time of your training. So you want to make sure that you incorporate a rest day. So in kids, you want to have at least 1 to 2 days between your runs. Intensity is how hard you're running. So make sure that you gradually increase the intensity. The type of running might include things like speed work or hill work. So make sure that you vary things up. And the type of running, the time of running is how long that you would run for. So make sure again that it's a gradual progression and that you have a good training plan that hopefully your run club leader develops for you. The other factors such as strength and flexibility are things that are modifiable. So those are things that you can control. So you want to make sure that you have strength through the muscles that you use to run and have good flexibility or range of motion through the muscles that you use to run. The other thing is shoes. Making sure that you're wearing proper, good supportive running shoes when you're training. So today we're going to show you some exercises of how to improve your strength and flexibility. Double leg calf raises, standing on both feet, raise up and down on your toes. To progress this exercise, move to a single leg. Glute bridging, lay on your back with your knees bent and your feet shoulder width apart. Squeeze your buttocks and lift your hips up, keeping your core and your belly button nice and tight. Clamshells, laying on your side with your knees stacked up. Keep your feet together and lift your top leg towards the ceiling without letting your hip roll backwards. Sitting on the floor with your legs straight out in front, try to keep your back as flat as possible and hinge forwards at your hips. Quad stretch, stand on one leg. With the opposite leg, bring your heel to your bottom, grabbing on with your hand. Try to keep your core tight and push your hip forwards as you bring your leg back. Calf stretch. In the first position, you'll start with your back leg straight, your heel pressing down to the ground, and the front knee bent. In the second position, you'll have both legs bent, so keeping the back knee bent as well as the front leg, push that heel down into the ground so you feel a stretch in your calf. If you do notice some pain while you're running, you want to make sure that you follow the RICE principle. So rest, ice, compression, and elevation. If you notice that the pain continues for 2 or 3 more of your runs, you want to make sure that you talk to your group leader or your parents and consider seeking a professional help. So hopefully that's given you some information on how to prevent running injuries.